Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all our witnesses for being with us today. I'd like to talk a little bit about a different form of telemedicine, and that is remote monitoring, and think about how we can help those living with chronic conditions. In Alabama, there's well over 600,000 people with chronic conditions that need help on a daily basis. Recently, I introduced a bill with Senator McSally called the Increasing Rural Health Access During COVID-19 Emergency Act, which would provide additional funding for providers and health systems in rural America to invest in remote monitoring. Connectivity continues to be an issue, and I think that remote monitoring can help bridge that divide by utilizing a little bit better 2G, 3G technology. So Dr. Kabdar, if you could discuss how remote monitoring is used today. I know from personal experience with my parents, the use of a monitor with regard to a pacemaker for heart patients. But if you could discuss a little bit how those living with chronic conditions like hypertension, asthma, kidney disease, other things can utilize remote monitoring, and what is it that we can do as a Congress to encourage the equipment and the necessary tools to do more remote monitoring?
Thank you for the question, Senator. It's a wonderful, and I'm so glad you brought it up because we've been so focused on video and audio interactions. Remote monitoring is a fabulous tool. It enables, just as you described, individuals with chronic illness to be able to share information about their illness, usually vital sign information, could be a heart rhythm, et cetera, with a provider at another location. And for those individuals to have care provided because they have an enriched data stream from the patient. This has led to, particularly in conditions like congestive heart failure, savings in terms of keeping people out of the hospital, keeping people out of the high cost part of the system, keeping them healthy in their home. And I would say that in the last 2 years, Medicare has come on board to reimburse for those activities. There's a nice, very thoughtfully done set of codes now to reimburse for those activities. Likewise, with monitoring for hypertension, there's a set of codes to reimburse for that now. So what's left is what can Congress do? I think in any way you can encourage our colleagues in the private payer space to come on board to support those codes would probably be a wonderful thing. I don't know that that's in your bailiwick, but that's really what's needed next.
Well, thank you for that. So following up on that, Ms. Wilson, how does Blue Cross feel about that, and what can Congress do to help encourage that? That seems to me a way, it's almost like reimbursing for, well baby visits, other visits that are helping to stop real high expenses before they hit. What can we do with you in the private sector? What can the private sector do to encourage remote monitoring like that?
So thank you for the question. So we do actually have Medicaid within what we cover at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and we have supported that already in our Medicaid population. We're looking at the lessons learned to see how we can apply it in the commercial space as well. I can tell you in Tennessee, we're still having conversation as to what that means because it means different to different people. So conceptually, we are on board with that, but I think those are the conversations that we need to have so that everybody is coming from the same place. Is it the hypertension monitoring, the things like that that you're talking about? So I think we're moving in the right direction on that as well. And as soon as we have clarity between us and the providers, I think that we'll have recommendations for the lawmakers.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. It seems to me that one of the things that we can do as well is to encourage innovation and technology in this area. It seems to me, and with what we're doing now, that there are so many possibilities out there for this remote monitoring that perhaps Congress can figure out a way to encourage scientific breakthroughs in technology and innovation to try to help in this, because I think in the long run, it will save America money, it will save the taxpayer money. So thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this important hearing.